Welcome to Love Uninterrupted. I am Love, and I am back with a energy reading for today. The overarching message for the day is revolution. 49 is the numerical association of this message, breaking down to 13, breaking down further to a 4. As long as you see your own people as good and others as evil, you remain a prisoner of the 49th shadow. Now, when I first pulled this message, first of all, there are a few things that stood out to me in the image itself. And that was the owl that is reflected in the nose. And also, it appears to be a butterfly at her forehead. And I'm not sure why those particular animals and insects stood out to me. The dragonfly as well. Probably because the dragonfly and the owl have had a significant impact on my life. I've had experiences with both insect and animal that were transformative. So that may be why they stood out to me, but those animals and or insects may also have a resonance or connection to you, butterflying being one of transition, the owl representing wisdom. So I just wanted to point that out to you all. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to go into the story first, and then I'm going to get to reading the rest of the message. So I was born as a passionate, sensitive idealist. Though my family was relatively liberal, my parents were not passionate people. They'd ignore anything for the sake of harmony, which brought out the hypocrisy detector in me. My mother identified as a feminist, but she still made herself small, and my father let her. My parents considered themselves open-minded, but I saw the look on their faces when I brought home romantic partners of a different race, ethnicity, or gender than expected. Our neighborhood prided itself on its progressive politics, but it also subtly discouraged certain people from moving in, rationalized wars, and dehumanized others. It was the inertness and denial that angered me most. Beneath the anger was hurt. How could they not see what I saw or feel what I felt? When I confronted my parents and they refused to own their biases, we'd have huge fights. I went off to college. My mind spun and my heart broke as I learned about the plight of so many oppressed peoples. I seethed when I witnessed any kind of systemic marginalization or institutional oppression. For years, I hung out with only like-minded activists and judged my parents and most people for not getting it. The more staunchly I fought for peace, the more my personal life was rife with conflict. If I detected a drop of racist blood in my romantic partners, I dropped them. It wasn't until my best friend divorced me, calling me the most reactionary person she'd ever met, that I woke up. Losing her was devastating, but also a gift. All this time, as I divided up the world into good and ignorant and rejected people left and right, I was desperately trying to avoid being rejected. My fear of rejection had caused me to shut out so many people just because their worldview was different than mine. It took time to move through the layers of humiliation, guilt, and regret. Only when I was able to forgive myself could I begin to repair my personal relationships. Finally, I understood in my heart just how deep our human tendency is to split the world into black and white, us and them. This realization released a creativity in me I never knew was there. Now, instead of rejecting the old world, I channel all of my love and energy into envisioning and co-creating a new one. My approach to the peace movement has become delightfully peaceful. Welcome to the peaceful revolution. If you long to bring harmony to your community, begin by being patient, gentle, and compassionate with yourself. Give your feelings time, space, and plenty of creative outlets, but do not judge them. For when you do, you create an internal pressure that intensifies the feelings and the impulse to act them out. Rejecting yourself only makes it more difficult to see objectively. Soften the heart. Understand the other and see possibilities for resolution. If you must rebel, then rebel against your inner impulse to attack anyone. When you resist the urge to react based on your emotions or to be violent towards yourself, you are doing your part to end violence in the world. Be revolutionary, not reactionary. I thought that story was really powerful, and it resonated with me personally. And as I went through it, I considered, of course, the number of ways that in some way, shape, or form, many of us have adopted the idea of an us versus them. Even within spirituality, you may find an aura of eliteness, if you will, of individuals who feel that they have ascended or they are on higher frequency, and sometimes that perception and perspective can be received or come off as elitist. And so this story and message is very powerful as it speaks about if there's something that you notice in your life that you want to change. And as we're all walking around the planet, I'm sure that there are a number of things that we would like to change. People who are suffering, whether that be physically or financially or emotionally, entire groups of cultures, races who are oppressed. And it can be very hurtful to witness that. But this message really stresses the damage that is done when you judge and when you have the attitude of an us versus them, or me versus them, or in a situation that I encountered a few days ago, or just yesterday, maybe I was talking to a friend of mine and he was relaying a story to me, and immediately I thought, oh, the person that he was talking about is not a good character. But it was based on an action that the person made that was not an action that I personally would have chosen. And so when you judge in that way, you do create an inner violence with yourself, because when you focus or when you judge a person's actions as wrong, that energy is something that you have within you. It is not only directed outward. So this message to me is very powerful. And speaking of the peaceful resolution, doing your part to end violence in the world, starting with yourself first, and then it will ripple out into the universe, because once you have eliminated or reduced the violence that you have against yourself, it's less likely that you're going to project that violence outward if you're not projecting it inward. Okay. So let's get into the message here. So the message of fertility, magic, and soul time all came out, and I really felt like, wow, what a message. Okay, so we've got a 9, a 4, and another 4 as far as numbers. Actually, so this is actually 3 4s that are out on the table. So that may have some significance to you if you are a person that connects with numbers and numerology. So the frequency of fertility, it invites you to be more open, to be more courageous, to be more creative, and more joyful than you were before. And I think that this is a direct connection to the message of revolution, because joy versus judgment is what we're aiming for. Inner joy and acceptance, if you will. And this, allowing yourself to be in this space, to activate your potential for something beautiful to grow, for you to fertilize your mind, fertilize your life with joyful experiences. This activates your potential for something beautiful to grow from your consciousness into a grander expression of yourself. And this what word? Creativity that you are creating in your life opens the way for your magic. We talked about that yesterday in the message, that each one of us have magic within us. Our place of origin, the place that our souls and spirits all derived from, is where our magic also derives from. This is our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment that you're in, to move toward possibilities. Possibilities that are more profound than we could imagine. More and more of us are coming to the awareness and realization of our abilities, our magic. So things that we have not seen before, we are starting to see. Experiences that we have never had before, we are beginning to experience. This is who we are. We are divine beings. We are connected to that higher power. We are connected to God. And when we ask for something with purity of heart, God delivers. The universe delivers. The universe is listening to our every word, our every utterance, our every desire, whether the words are coming from our mouth or whether they are radiating from our aura, from our body, from our spirit. And this message of soul time, the frequency of soul time, asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. So this message to me is very much about allowing newness in your life, what you have experienced before, what you have been experiencing based on your upbringing, based on what you have been exposed to. The message is to open yourself up to new possibilities, to new potential, to new expressions that are desiring to come forward. Again, as I mentioned in the message yesterday, we are ever evolving. We're constantly evolving and growing. And so your inner self, your soul, is experiencing growth. And this message of soul time is one that embraces the concept that while your physical body is mortal, your soul is timeless, it's limitless, and it is infinite. So you are on I want to say a perpetual state of growth. When you're thinking about your core self, your the part of you that is more than this physical body, the part of you that originates from a place that none of us actually know where it is, but we have the ability to tap into that space. We have the ability to tap into that place within us. So allow yourself to fertilize, to be fertile. Allow yourself to fertilize your life. Allow yourself to fertilize your mind with thoughts of love, thoughts of understanding, openness, joy, creativity. Allowing yourself to be patient, not only with other people, but to really be patient with yourself. As you continue on your journey of life, really, there will be parts of you that are going to fall away. There are going to be habits that you have adopted over the years based on your surroundings, how you have been nurtured. And you may find that these parts of you are no longer beneficial. They're no longer necessary. They don't really aid your growth. They're actually hindering you from your full potential. So allow yourself to be patient, gentle, and compassionate with yourself. So I think that that is a perfect place to end this reading for today. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to drop a comment. I always love to hear when these messages connect with you all. Also, hit that thumbs up, like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you've reached this portion of the message and you are still listening to my voice, you are extremely unique because I am a reflection of you. And with that, I know that you are a cool ass person because you found your way here, or you were guided right here to my spot. And I truly am thankful that I get to experience this time with you. So with that said, I hope to talk to you next time. Peace.